Carly Fiorina has been in the news lately, all because her carlyfiorina.org domain was not registered by her. It was instead registered by a Hillary Clinton supporter. No, actually not a Hillary Clinton supporter, as you would believe. It's actually just someone who doesn't like Carly Fiorina because of her massive failures as CEO when she was the CEO of Hewlett Packard, which resulted in massive layoffs for the company. I mean, she's literally responsible for a numerous amount of people to lose their jobs when she was the CEO of HP. And this woman wants to be president, by the way, someone who failed at being a CEO for a major corporation.
Lost a bunch of jobs, lost for people, lost the Senate race, next stop, president.
And so an activist who's out to make sure she's not in the running for president,
which she isn't,
registered carlyfiorina.org and then posted this information on it. And all the media has been talking about it. You know, it's been a good way actually for her and her PR people to turn this around and sort of make her likable to people because she's taking it in good humor. She went on Late Night with Seth Meyers last week. And when Seth Meyers asked her about the domain, she joked about it and then said, check sethmeyers.org. Turns out to be funny. She registered sethmeyers.org and turned it into a pro Carly Fiorina website. She did the same on Meet the Press this past Sunday when she registered chucktodd.org and did the same with that. Made it a pro Carly Fiorina, vote for Carly campaign website on chucktodd.org. And then just recently, this past Sunday night, it came out that HillaryClinton.net was purchased by an activist who supports Carly Fiorina. So HillaryClinton.net now forwards to a pro Carly Fiorina website. Her PR people said that they did not register HillaryClinton.net. It's a supporter of theirs. They have nothing to do with it. That person also registered HillaryForPresident.com and forwarded that to a Carly Fiorina campaign website. And her spokeswoman said that many reporters were nearly giddy about what I've affectionately labeled Domaingate when it came to Republicans. I hope they do the same with these gaffes from the Clinton campaign too. And I'd like to point out that they have done this with the media has done this with other Republicans, Democrats too. But yes, if you want to label this Domaingate, there's a number of domain name related issues that have come up in this campaign, specifically the 2016 primaries, the race to become the Republican or the Democratic pick for the 2016 election. Ted Cruz did not register tedcruz.com. And to be fair to Ted Cruz, it's owned by someone whose name is Ted Cruz. And this person has registered it long ago. That happens. You know, we could hit Ted Cruz on a lot of things. This really wasn't his fault. I mean, this guy had it registered probably from before Ted Cruz even had national aspirations, before he was even a senator. It's this guy's name, Ted Cruz. Rand Paul was recently scrutinized for spending $100,000 to secure randpaul.com. I mean, that's a story in of itself. I actually think, and as someone who's tech savvy, I actually think that's a good investment.
I would do that. Definitely.
He has the money. He has $100,000. I don't know if he should have used his campaign money. He probably should have used his personal money. I mean, I'm sure he'll be using this domain regardless of whether he gets the nod. Either way, you know, I'm sure you'll be able to find a newsletter on it in a year or two, and he'll be raising money that goes into his own wallet. But that aside, I actually think it's a good investment.
Free enterprise.
$100,000 to get randpaul.com and make sure anyone can't put an anti-Rand Paul website on it. That's not something to really hit him about. However, people have been talking, you know, Carly Fiorina, she just didn't register carlyfiorina.org. That's a lesson for you. You should register your domain name. And, you know, that's fair enough. Someone who's running for president should register their domain. But at the same time, I can see how it could be a failure to get every single one. There's a lot out there. .com, which she owns, carlyfiorina.com to be fair, .net, .org, .info, .biz, and that's only the usual, like the classic, the general top level domains, the general domain extensions. And then you have all your country codes, .us, .uk, and there's hundreds upon hundreds of those because every country has their own. You could register your name in all of those. And then on top of that, just in the past year, ICANN, the organization that basically has the rules set for domain names, has opened up for companies to run their own .whatevers. So you can literally register .party, .beer, .nyc, .guru, the list goes on. There's a .republican, a .democrat, a .gop. It's, some of those are 30, 40, some of them $100 a year to register, $200 a year to register. I can see how, all these would add up. It's hard to get every single one. Make sure someone can't get every single one. Now, the reason I'm laying this all out is because that is not what's happened here. And it is unbelievable that the media has not discovered this. And this comes as a hat tip. And this was only because I found this because domain names is a hobby of mine. I enjoy keeping up with the news of domain names. I register a number of domain names. I find it fun. It's a hobby of mine. So because I'm up with the news here, and this is the only place I've seen this, independent media, mass media, all included here, Michael Perkins of The Domains, which is a niche blog that specifically covers the domain name industry, has discovered that while Carly Fiorina is out there saying how, I should have registered the .org before one of my critics took it, and she, cutely says, you can't buy every domain name, what can you do? And she's out there trying to be nice, registering SethMeyers.org. I have a sense of humor about this, haha. This, what he discovered here, is much more telling. Carly Fiorina's company, Carly Fiorina Enterprises, controlled carlyfiorina.org. They've had registered the domain name since 2006. And someone let it expire last year. They failed to spend the $10 to renew the domain. And it dropped. And someone went out and purchased it. And here they are, her people, pretending she never had any ownership of the domain name. They're saying, why isn't the media attacking Hillary Clinton for not owning HillaryClinton.net? HillaryClinton.net's been registered since 2002. Someone purchased it from whoever, and 2002 is pretty early in the internet world. A lot of people didn't start registering domains till the mid 2000s to really, in terms of protecting their brand. I mean, MTV had to purchase MTV.com in the early 2000s because registering domain names to protect your brand just wasn't thought of in the early 2000s. This is even the early days of social media. Social media didn't even exist then. Friendster.com, heralded as probably the first social media website, was not around in 2002. People were still logging into AOL keywords, not having to even use a .com in these early days. There's absolutely no excuse to pretending this happened to you when it was actually a failure on you and your company's behalf to simply fail to spend the $10 to renew your domain name. And I think that's something that you can actually hit her on more so than her just, it's hard to register every domain name out there. Give her a break. If she can't spend $10 and remember to renew a domain name every year, which you can actually set to auto-renew, you don't have to physically renew it every year, then what would she fail to remember to do as President of the United States?